it's amazing now when I'm out at these shows giving talks, like how many people will come up and say, "Hey, we love the podcast and listening to it," um, which is awesome, by the way. But I also get this like, "Hey, your tone has really changed, like, in the last 5, 10 episodes." Like, I first started listening to it was all, like, really excited and everything was, cool and innovative, and I feel like it's just gotten heavier, and there's, like, more of these topics that you spend like, Jeff Hinton saying humanity is done for, and, AI and politics, and the things that I, like, think about and worry about. And the reality is, like, those are the things people often ask me about. When I'm giving talks at conferences, a lot of times the first questions, because you give this information to people, you explain AI in a very approachable way, and then all of a sudden smart people start connecting the dots of the impact it's going to have on them, their careers, their businesses, their kids. And so that's usually what people want to talk about. And so I spend all day answering questions about the potential negative side effects of AI. I also like have a daughter who at 11 is very, very tuned in to artificial intelligence. She knows more about AI than probably most CEOs, because I expose them to it and I explain how things work and I want them to kind of understand this stuff. And part of what I'm trying to do is figure out what does the future look like for them. So I teach them about this stuff. So she, as an artist, and that's what she wants to do for her career, she's not like the biggest fan of AI. And so a lot of times when we have these conversations, it's actually, um, she doesn't really want to listen too much about it because she doesn't like it. And so I explained to her a lot like, well, I don't have to like it either. I'm trying to make it make sense to people so we can figure this out and do it in the most positive way. So there was a bit of a mix this past week of some personal conversations that I had had and some things I was thinking about and working on, and then just like this ongoing um, weight of dealing with a lot of this risk and uncertainty and the fears around it, and trying to help people through that. And I realized like sometimes it just weighs on, me, and it's just a lot, and I can kind of get caught in the downward spiral of thinking about all the negative stuff, and I don't take the time to remember what got me started in this originally and why I was actually excited about AI. So anyway, so I on Thursday on the flight to Charleston, I wrote, I just started writing about like, well, what excites me about it? And actually that Wednesday, the day I kind of had a conversation with my daughter, someone had asked me at a conference, what is the most exciting thing about AI to you? And I didn't have an answer on the spot. So mixed all this stuff, that question last week actually triggered me to write something when I realized like, why don't I have an answer to this question about what excites me? So on the flight, I said, I'm gonna write what excites me. So I thought I would kind of end today before the rapid fire with the things I am excited about. So despite all the negative stuff and the kind of the downsides of how this could go wrong, I think there's just massive opportunity in AI. And so I want to kind of call attention to some of those things. So I'll kind of read you what I shared. So the first thing is an explosion of entrepreneurship. So I said we're about to see an explosion of entrepreneurship in startups that will reinvent industries and create millions of jobs over the next decade. So if you think about like, it's really hard to take existing companies and have to change them fast to accommodate AI. So if you think about like a big marketing agency or a law firm or a medical practice or I don't know, software developers, SaaS companies. Like the disruption could happen really quickly, and it's hard to figure out how to handle that. And that's a daunting task. But if you flip it and say, but what if I'm starting from scratch and I'm just going to build a more efficient company, a smarter company? I'm going to infuse AI from the beginning. So I'm not going to have to lay anybody off because I'm just going to hire fewer people, but I'm still going to create jobs. And so when I think about these AI native companies that can just be built from the ground up with fewer human and financial resources, with access to like GPT-4 and other tools that can help you in the planning process, reduce your need to rely on outside providers. So it's like way more cost efficient, way more real time knowledge. It's almost like a built in advisor. That's a really exciting thing because you can take your domain knowledge and your experience and you can go build something and you don't need the resources that it used to take to build a company. Everything's at your fingertips. So as an entrepreneur myself, I've started, a couple companies. The idea of being able to start and build a company in today's age is incredible. And so again, if you don't get caught up in the negative aspects of potential job loss and knowledge work, and you're just thinking about building from the beginning in a smarter company, that's really cool. And so I love the idea of the future of entrepreneurship, and I think we're going to go through kind of a real emergence in the startup world with these kinds of companies. The second is new career paths. So I do get asked a lot about like, what do you think the jobs of the future will be? What are those titles going to be? What are people going to do with AI that maybe we're not thinking about today? And the short answer is like, I'm not really sure. Like I've thought about a lot about this and I don't know exactly what they're going to be. But, what I was saying here is, like, don't wait for someone to tell you what it's gonna be. Don't wait for me to tell you what the new title or job is gonna be. Go seek knowledge, go learn about AI, mix it with your experiences and experimentation with AI, and then connect the dots and, like, create your own career path. So I'll give you an example. A couple years ago, I was doing a talk for a healthcare system, and it was like 150 marketing and public affairs and communications employees. And I just did kind of the intro to AI and talked about the implications within communications and public affairs. And afterwards, a lady came up to me and she said, is AI ops like a role? She was like a manager level person. And I said, not that I've seen. And she said, man, because listening to you talk, all I can think about is the work that's going to be required to infuse this smarter technology, the impact it's going to have on our team, and the need for reskilling and upskilling, the need to develop new processes and workflows. And we don't have anybody in our company who can do that. Maybe that's what I should do. And I was like, that's perfect. Like, go do that. And that's what I'm saying as an example. Like, once you think about the impact this stuff's going to have and you understand, especially if you're at a bigger company where there's going to need to be a lot of support, go create the role. Like raise your hand and walk into your boss's office. Say, I think we're going to need this position in the future, and just go do it. So this idea of new career paths is really cool. The other one is change agents. This is number three. Change agents emerging from everywhere. And so what I said in this post, so I don't care if you're the intern or the CMO, you can be a change agent your company needs. There's uncertainty and fear about AI in organizations of all sizes. So what can you do about it? Raise your hand to be a part of or lead an internal AI council that defines policies and procedures and explores what's possible. Start an AI book club with your coworkers. Take an AI course with your team and build an action plan. Create an AI committee that demos and tests new technology. And I ended that one with whatever you choose, don't wait for the business world to get smarter around you. The fourth thing is more time. And I've talked about this on, I don't know what episode it was. Mike would remember maybe if he was here. But there was a whole episode where we really talked about my feeling that AI is maybe the best chance we have to create more time, to expand the time in our lives. Like we can't get more hours out of the day, but we can get more out of those hours, is the basic premise. Um, and I think this is going to be a choice. I actually had a few people comment on the LinkedIn post about this last week that I was like crazy if I thought it was going to be more time, that it was just going to make people work more and they're just going to be more productive. And my response was, I think it's a choice. So I'm building a company right now where I'm going to choose to give that time back to people. So I don't need to make another 5% profit margin. Like I would rather we enjoyed our lives. And so I'm going to focus and make choices. And as I build this company, to take that some of the time we gain from AI and give it back to us as humans to enjoy our lives. That is maybe an exception to the rule. Like I want to be optimistic and think other companies will make similar choices. But that's basically the premise here, is like part of the reason I got into AI is I was trying to find a way to extend time, to spend more time with my family and friends and do more things I enjoyed. And so I want to continue to believe that it can be a path to that. So that's 4. 5 was a renaissance in human creativity. And so I said, as AI creativity is quickly commoditized, when supply is seemingly infinite, it is human creativity that will be desired and cherished. We'll grow to appreciate human creativity in new ways, and the true creatives among us, such as my 11-year-old daughter, um, it will flourish. And then in the post, I actually shared a painting my daughter had done of this like cutesy village. It's adorable. So if you haven't seen it, go to my LinkedIn profile and you can see that picture. And then the last thing that I'm very excited about are scientific breakthroughs that lead to improved lives. It says AI amplifies human intelligence and is likely to achieve superhuman intelligence across many domains. This will give scientists and researchers the ability to solve some of humanity's biggest challenges: climate change, hunger, disease, poverty, abundant clean energy, interplanetary travel. I'm excited about, and answer some of our deepest questions, such as, are we alone in this vast universe? So those were my 6 things. I would love to hear yours. Go on the LinkedIn post and leave a comment with the things you're excited about. I was going to ask Mike if Mike was with us this week, so maybe I'll ask him next week what he's excited about. But if we don't get bogged down by all the negative headlines in the press and the kind of the clickbait stuff and some of these more extreme fears, I do think there's a lot to be excited about. And I hope, you balance your thoughts with that as well.